Check, check. Whoops. Hitting the new thing. Let me see. We're gonna go. Let me turn this on. We'll do a little test. I don't know how many people are gonna see this. Let's see what we got here. We're gonna go up here. Let's see what this says. Close. What's up, man? I'm getting set up. I did oh, I'm crooked up there. I just bought something for the live stream, so I'm gonna test it out. Let's see in here. Let's see. There I am. This is crooked. Stay. Actually, let me see. Let's see how this looks. What's up, everybody? I just happened to catch you. Yeah, I got so that I can kind of see here. As you can see, I can kind of read the comments, and I'm not looking down now. And I probably could scoot this a little closer. Let's see. Man, that's so much better for my neck. Oh my god. I can't even tell you guys. I'm just trying to the neck thing. I got Tennis Nuts is supposed to come in town tonight. But he was supposed to come in at 5. I was going to go hang out with him. And then he said that he got late. He got a late flight. So he's been stuck at the Atlanta airport since 4 o'clock this afternoon. And his flight comes out at 10:30, and he won't get here to midnight. I'm like, bro, that's a little late for me to go party at 1 o'clock in the morning. So, and I'm sure a lot of people won't come on. I didn't post this. I was just checking it out to see how good this will work for me. But it looks like just me and you, Michael. We can do a private lesson. Anyway, it's kind of cool that it takes like everyone get the notice, and then by the time they get on or whatever, and I don't know what people are doing. The patch still sounds good from yesterday that I made, so that's good. New stream. The other one's at 300. I kind of like the surprise streams too. It's kind of fun. But I'm not gonna do a long one because it's Friday night and I know people are going out and seeing bands. Oh yeah. Oh no, that isn't locked. Your wife had to go into work? Was she in medical or something? Let me put this down. So I just wanted to get a quick look at everything. Since I'm like kind of new to live streaming and stuff, I'm trying to make it best for everybody, like for me and you guys as well. And I probably I probably could get that a little lower. I'm gonna guess. Let me see. Oh, she grocery store manager. Hmm. So it's pretty close to. So what I had to do is I have a chair, and for me to read the comments, it's better on my laptop because it's separated. So Emma took me out of the game. Mrs. took me out of the game. Yeah, mine was like, "You want to go watch a movie with me?" I'm like, "No, I'm busy." Too funny. Yeah. Yeah, raising this up now I can kind of look, and then like while I'm like up here like this, I can actually see your comments, you know. That's kind of cool that you can see my eyes down, but at least my face kind of look like I'm stoned looking down at the comments though. that that's funny because a lot of people are like, "What do you want, drugs?" And I'm like looking down, so you're seeing my eyelids shut all the time. Watching MotoGP races, nice. Steven, this thing works way better, way up. So I'm not as far down. The ideal thing would to be have like some kind of thing built over the top and have the laptop on top so that I'm looking up at the comments. But what happened is last night looking way down kind of hurt my neck a little bit, with the discount and stuff. But yeah, I don't even know how many. Let's see. If I go to my page, will it tell me how many people? Oh, there's 4 people on. Woohoo! Yeah, we're rocking. But it's a. Let me see. Let me click on it and see the picture. I think the picture is so much better. I feel like there's something in my ear every time I look that way. There's nothing in my ear. Looks like there's something in my ear. Yeah, I would think that if I can get the laptop up here, like you guys can't see, but like behind the phone is a full PA system. There's like 4 15s, there's an 18, and there's 2 of the QSC bass cabs and a QS. There's a whole, it's like stacked up past the chandelier. Empty mayhem. Let's fucking rock. Jam it. Your plans to go through some fielders. Slow them. Suckers down. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's the hard thing. Me trying to play, even me playing slow, it's hard for me. Maybe I could do it like this so it's out of the way. Check, check. Oh, yeah, you can still hear me. So, like, if I'm doing something like, let me see. Let me see where my fingers are at. That's like a hard thing to see because I can't. I'd have to get this up here so you can kind of see how I'm picking that. So I start with an up, and an up, a down, up, up. So when I play that lick, but I mean, however you gotta do it for picking is. There you go, there's the noise gate. Yeah, so some of that stuff's hard, like, showing this kind of stuff, like with a. Let's see. Now that's down. And down, which you wouldn't think I'd do that down, down. It's all down picks. Which is weird because you wouldn't think that lick is all down picks. I fucking. What's up, Mark? Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing live streams. They're fun for me too. I was just on Philip McKnight's one. That's the. Let me see if I can get the noise gate a little more. So that's the rev. Oh, Steven, by the way, I just got this in today. It's the I didn't look. It's that 24. Oh, wait a second. Let me see how this is set up. So I'm doing a mod to that Mark Safoli, or however you say the white Strat. You need OBS streaming software. Yeah, it's a lot of money, and I don't put a lot of money into this. It's just for fun for me. I'm not a pro. Let's see. This looks like it's like a clip or something. Let me see. That's how it wasn't show. Oh no, it's regular, bro. It looked like it was a clip, so it's the 24 volt mod 99. Okay, oh no, so it's 2 9s. Why does it say 24 volt? Anyway, I'm gonna do the 18 volt mod to that Fender. OBS is free. From where? I looked at all the OBS. Do you know which ones are free? Because every time I click on them, they were like, you can join for 3 months. It costs this much. Like, they start you off for free. Do you know which ones are free? Bet you know, except. Yeah, of course. Oh, and everybody was asking. So here's the mod. So one goes to the actual 9 volt connector. And then 2 9 volts. So I just clip it in. So if I don't like the way it sounds, we'll see. Let's see if I can look in. Thanks, bro. Love you too. Yeah, for 18 volt mod, the 2 9 volt batteries are running series. Fuck, gotta get back on the move, bro. Okay, Michael, and be safe, bro. So like I've got the mod. The mod came, but I just checked the mail now, or I would have put it in. But that's a Michael Britt, which was really weird because it's a crank. It's a crankhead. I forget how that goes. Something like that. You got what? You got one what? You got the... What up? What's up, Medic Jam? Kovac Slayer. I wish I could have met you in Florida when you were in Florida. Yeah, if you guys ever come to Florida, hit me up on my email. I'll go hang out with you guys, man. Tennis Nuts is down here tonight, probably around midnight. Yeah, the Michael Britts are awesome. These are stock right in the Kemper. So what happened to this Kemper is some of the effects weren't working on there, so I had to reboot it to factory settings. But you just lose all the... It's better that way for me because some people... You know, if he's got extra profiles in there, I lose them. But they don't matter to me because I like to profile my own heads. So my rack one has my TSL... It's got my JCM 800. It's got my EVH head and my AC30. So that's all I need. But this one, which is surprising, is a crankhead in the Michael Britt pad. I think it sounds pretty good. Yeah. If you ever come down, let me know, bro. What's up, Robert? So if I buy a Kemper, they'll be there. Yeah, there's a lot of and depending on how new your Kemper is, like even with some of the updates, you get some new profiles, like by Tone Junkies. This has no Tone Junkies in there, but my other one does. Do you sub to smaller channels? Absolutely, man. If you you know, I've done it with Tennis Nuts, Steven. There's like probably 10 people that I subbed just on smaller channels, because that's what it's about. It's not these big channels, that kiss ass and get where they want. I've been in the business, so I don't need to do this. I do it to help people, because there's a lot of people out there that are lying to you guys. Yeah, Robert. These are awesome. This is the toaster one, but I have a rack one over there that I play with a power amp sometimes. Here's what a stock patch will sound like. Let's see. I'll go through some of the stock patches of the Michael Britts. Headstrong Queen. FH50 clean. Let me see. This is a Dumble. These are all stock. I haven't even messed with these. You see what I'm saying? Dr. X. Little thin. There's a Dirty Shirley. Holy shit, that's loud as hell. Let me turn that down. This is another patch I mess with. Yeah. This sounds good. So you can hear like a little bit of delay on there. So for me, it's got all the reverb mixes on here. So I can do this. That's right off the front, man. A little delay. So if I want to do the delay with the top tempo. What's up, Brooklyn? Yeah, and Steven that I friended and went to his channel, it's SK43853. And I talked to him on the phone. I become friends with Amir, the pirate I'm friends with. Man, that sounds fucking good. Stock right out of the box and just do the reverb and you can see it's got a compressor on there and some other stuff. How about some clean rippage? I hear a lot of guys say, "Oh, you hide behind overdrive," but no rest for the wicked. What's up? Yeah, this is great. The great clean sound for a dog, and it's stock. All I did was mess with the delay and the reverb. Great funk sound, probably, right? That's fucking great, right? If I had a little gain breakup, let's see. Ooh, that's silky smooth. That's loud though. Let me turn that down. Man, that's really good fucking tone. So I'll probably save that patch. Listen how good of a rock tone that is now, just on the bridge pickup. What was that, Tommy Thayer? What? That Tommy Thayer plays as good as any custom Strat you'll ever play. You know, I'm surprised people don't talk about that guitar, because that comes with like a lot of Gibson wiring and Seymour Duncan's and the whole 9 yards. This guitar right here. I've played this live a couple times. Don't spill the monster into the Kemper. We'll have it short. Probably should move that, right? This is probably one of the better playing Epiphones I've ever played. Can you pay your internet? Yeah, this is a badass guitar, man. Let me see if I can get it up close so you can see the paint on there. It's fucking ridiculous. It's even got a blue Duncan. And make sure if you buy one of these, they give you the blue case that goes with it. And it also comes with a signed COA from Tommy Thayer, believe it or not. And I bought this for like $700. The 7 chords, yeah. I love those chords too. You know, and you know what's great about those? You can do the D shape and play them off of the 5th string, and then throw in those Hendrixy chords and like the B9s, and then you're a blues guy. They sound fucking killer too. Here's the neck. Let's see. Let me see what else patches he has in here. Let me go down. '74 Champion. This has all the England patches in it too, by the way. They're at the other. He's got a little effects on that. plexi. Now see, it's got effects. I can hear it, so we can adjust that real quick. Let's see. And let's see. Let's take some of that off. And the presence. Yeah, the doobies use a whole bunch of. Yeah, this. And let's see. Let me see what else he has on here. Temper drive. And a pure boost. Let's see. Oh, a phaser. See, now if I don't like the phaser so much, I can go right in there. There's a flange. So we can take off. See the mix. Take some of the mix off. Not bad, not bad. Let's see what else he got. He's got a. Now this is a 65 Fender Champion. Probably should be playing a Fender. Now same thing, this has a dunk in it. This probably has a, I'm going to say a JB4. Maybe. Wonder what this would sound like with the Fendery tones. Never played active pickups with a Fender style amp. Man, that sounds fucking good for a... Yeah. Comcast. That's Red Chill's dad. That's all under AT&T. Comcast is owned by AT&T, which is Red Chill's dad, third in line. Yeah, this is a Mark Safoli pickup configuration in a Japanese Jackson, and I don't know what it's even called really, but I'm gonna put this in there. Steven told me this will make it more articulate. It's like a 18 volt mod. Sound fucking good. Jesus. Third. Oh, this is a plexi. Yeah, that political shit's fucking for the birds. What is this? Watch this. Wow. 90s. Matchbox 30. Oh, man. See, now there's nothing on here. Let's see. Let me do a little bit of reverb. Let's see. Mix post, store. Let me see if it stores it. See, some of these it won't let you. So you gotta mix post. Exit. Let me see. Reverb. Off. Just added a little bit of reverb. Man, this sounds good. He's got a lot of good sounding patches. Oh, by the way, let me move this. So did everyone have a good day, man? I don't know who works and not on here. Yeah. Man, that's got like a 12-string kind of sound. Andy Summers is fucking awesome. Even U2, when U2 first came out, the Police and U2, the early versions of those bands were fucking incredible. They were. You think you're laid off but not sure? What's up, bro? What's up, Jamie? Yeah, you're gonna play for a living? Like in what manner? What do you want to do? You do covers, or are you gonna try to get into the music industry? What's up, Jeff? You're probably actually better than me. You know, there's a lot of people on here that are... You'd be surprised how many great guitar players there are. Now, if you get into the industry, the only difference between being a very technical player, I mean, it helps, but to be quick-witted and very efficient, to know what the people want to hear. So instead of, doing the, okay, time for the lead. Even though that's cool and it's kind of show-offy, I might do something like... Depending on what it is, or just some stupid thing like... I might throw licks over it and then slide in with like another thing like that. Yeah, you gotta the efficiency thing, like in the industry, like if you're gonna write songs and stuff, you gotta be quick. So like if you're gonna play blues, like like a simple one riff. Whoops, missed my string. But playing like really simple like that and having like a real good feel. If you're playing in the session, the producer is, yeah, he's controlling what you play. He'll tell you I don't like that or knock it off. Yeah, that Middle Eastern sound shit you do for a dog is fucking badass. You need a producer? I don't deal with them no more. I wait for them to get stuck and I tell them what to do. So after a while, now that like if they, yeah, that's a good thing. So my buddy Toad, he was working for George Lynch. He was a nuclear submarine inspector, and he couldn't stand it. He quit his job. He was making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he said he couldn't take staying in the subs for like 48, I think he told me 48 days at a time without sunlight. So he couldn't fucking take it no more, so he quit. His wife divorced him, and he wanted to be a sound engineer. And he was working for my buddy Eric, who managed Brett Carlisle and was booking the George Lynch things and everything. He came to my house to pick up the cabs and the heads and stuff for George one day, and he goes, "Bro, Eric talks really highly of you. If I wanted to get into this business, what do I need to do?" I said, "Keep your mouth shut and Google everything. When they say they want an XY cable with an Ethernet, you fucking say right on it, boss." And then you walk away and you type it in your phone and you figure it out. And he said that was the best advice I ever gave him. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'll check your channel out. What you do is, because these comments, I don't go into my page. So comment, say, well, here, I'll give you my email. So if anyone has a question or you want me to check you out or something, it's JITTBOY, like my channel, Jitboy, but without the number one at yahoo.com. Just send like a link to the video or something. Yeah. But most of the time when I write, it's very basic. Basic. Even Tom talks about when he's doing the sessions, but he doesn't tell you that the session guy. The session guy actually dictates everything. Just listen to Serge. Yeah, so, but like I know what the producer's gonna tell me. Play what the people want to hear. So I might, if I'm like a slow blues, I'll try to play more in a groove kind of orientated, because I know people like that groove stuff and it taps their feet or gets their head bobbing. And when they start feeling good that way, the adrenaline triggers in the endorphins, and the endorphins get, set that mood. So if I'm going, I might do something that simple. Yeah, thanks, bro. Yeah, it's Serge Drobin, man. I haven't watched him in a while. I hope he's being a good boy. They won't respond to me. Even after I called top music attorney, I called her out. I go, "You're so full of shit. Congress doesn't work that way." My uncle was on the Ways and Means Committee. And like a lot of people don't understand, when you have big companies like AI companies like Suno, there were 2.6 or 2.4 billion dollars. They get the laws passed on their behalf, and then in return they lobby the Congress people and put like 20, 30 million into their campaign funds. So unless you're an attorney that has that kind of money It's never going to happen. On a typical Friday night, I sit around the TV with my kid. I listen to him play Oculus. I don't do much. Once in a while, I'll take him out. Sometimes we go out to eat, me, my wife, and my kid. Sometimes I'll go to a club down the street. Sharky's the one that I showed the other night where my kid got on stage that they brought him. Depends who's playing. But it's hard to do that kind of stuff unless I'm around a lot of friends, because in the area, people kind of know who I am. And sometimes, with my kid, it can become a hassle because I have to keep my eyes on him all the time. Man, that Michael Britt patches, man. Matchbox 1, R121. I don't know even what that means. And that's like a cool, clean tone. How did you come up with the screen name? What, jittboy1? Thanks, bro. What, my screen name, The Angry Guitarist or jittboy1? Jittboy was a nickname I was given since I was a kid by a very good friend of mine that passed away, Sean Phillips. He died of cancer. You're very green with chords theory, really like simple D chords, slide up and down. Yeah, you don't have to play hard, like technical chords and stuff. Like, what I was just doing there. Like even that Hendrix chord you were talking about, sit. You hit enter too, jittboy. So sorry about your friend. Thanks. But if you're like here's a cool pentatonic thing that I did a long time ago. If you guys know what song that is, I'm not allowed to say, but you'll be able to figure that out if you know what that is. Yeah, my friend gave that to me. No, it's a Matchbox 1. It kind of sounds like a Dumble. What's up, bro? Custom build. And that's the thing. So, like, here's a great example with the chord thing. And this can go back to Fur Dog and stuff. They're kind of the comments are in the way of your fretboard. Oh, wait. I'm losing my mic. The comments are in the way. Oh, they are? Like on your screen? Let me see. Let me see if I can turn this like this. And get this out of the way. Check. I think you guys can still hear me, right? Those what? The SPLs? Yeah. So here's like a cool lesson. The open tuning, that's E minor. That's the E minor pentatonic scale. So without even knowing theory, that's an E minor chord. So if I take my third string, listen to what I say. My third string, and what's the third in a triad? Your major or minor. So if I know I have an E here, E, and there's my major, minor, minor, major. Now watch, this is how I think when I write. D, D major, C major. I'm using the 4 and the 5 with the E minor and the G major as backing chords with the open strings to write. The triads in G major. Give them the triads in G major on the band, the E string, then flip it E to B. What do you mean? The triads here? Whoops. Those on the high E. Chicago in the house. Well, you know, you can even play, this is a power chord right here. Here's a E, and what's this? And an E. And what's this now? A. What's an E and A? E and an A. E and an A. I mean, E and a E and an A. E and a B. So you got, a lot of people call those double stops, but in actuality, it's a power chord. Then here's an inverted power chord. And then you start adding the third, and now you got a triad. And that's how easy that's how easy theory becomes. And then you can use that to your advantage. So if you're playing like a, and you're here, so if I do a triad here, now instead of doing it single notes, I can double the notes. So I use that kind of Iowa in the house too. Yeah. So like when you use those, yeah, those tiny chords are very fucking effective. So like if I write something for me, it'll look like this. And I'm sure you guys have heard this a million times. So here's the, now that's one of my songs that I wrote for me. But you can see they're all these basic chords using. And now you hold the G bass. So that's all chromatic. So even if you're using it and don't know the theory behind that, I'm using a G bass and I walk it down chromatically off the A string. And what am I playing? G and an A. And what's the fifth of the A? Is the E, which is the relative minor. Yeah, you've been doing that? They're badass. So like even if you're here. So if I use these are sixes. Just basic chords like that with just these sixes. So you can space them out off the 5 and the 7 and the 12. See how pretty that is? There's a fucking ballad right there, or a country song. Then you layer it in there with some slide work or whatever. And that's what I like to do. I like to keep the chords real basic. And the reason why I keep my chords basic and layer is because I can always take out Rose's Lounge. You can always take out parts that you added to layer and keep the main part of the song there. It's a Metallica song with all open strings. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, I write real simple. And the other reason why I write simple, not just so they can take parts in and out, but it gives the vocalist a lot of freedom for runs and hitting different choices of notes. Because when you're playing a lot of chords, and here's the problem, and I hate to bag on Tom, but when you watch him on his homeschool and playing that's not feasible for a singer. You're overplaying, and it will never get on an album with a vocalist. But that kind of technical chord playing and moving it around and having too many chords, you got to give the vocalist time to breathe. You got it so that they can find the notes. So now they're looking at this chord, a C, E, what is that one? G. So they're gonna sing on 1, 3, or 5, depending on how good they are. But when you're playing chords too fast, they can't pick what they want to hit out of those chords vocally. Play 7, 10 on the B string, and then play 8 on E string. What are you saying? 7 and 10 on 7 and then 10 on the B. And then play what? 10 and 7 on. Yeah. Those are, the mirror triads. Yeah, mirroring triads. Yeah, and I do that when I solo. So a lot of people ask me, how do you get that? So what I'm doing is I'm playing triads a lot. And it's a weird thing because it sounds more like a scale. Now you can go to the next string or skip it. And then you get some of like those old Simple Mind kind of licks. But those are triad runs. Those aren't scales, they're triads. I'm playing triads in a scalar motion. They sound better to me. Same thing if I play my scales. So forwards, then back, slide up, 1, forwards, back. That's like the mirrored kind of triad thing, but I'm doing it scalar now. Whoops. like that. And that's really hard to do. Yeah, both shapes of the minor and triad. Yeah, so there it can get complex, but the simplicity of the idea is what is beautiful to me. So like if like if you ever see me working on certain things, I might do stuff like open A, and I like to use that G string a lot because that's the one she takes off in the strip bar. But no, that's the one that is the minor and major. The third dictates the chord. So the third is also the third string, the G string. So if you throw that third string in there all the time when you're soloing or noodling, you'll create a lot of melodic lines. So if you're here, that's not going to get you melodic. This will. That third string will create all your melodic choices. Yeah. Yeah, and that was really hard for me to understand because I grew up with all these complex players, like I studied from Holsworth and stuff. But he was the one that actually, as a technical player, explained this to me. Believe it or not, out of all the fucking people that you would think are so technical, said to keep it so basic. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? You're fucking confusing me. He said, you'll understand later. And then after I learned it all, I was like, holy shit. The beginning of an E minor arpeggio is an E minor triad. It's just played in a different it's played more in a position as opposed to spread out. That's E minor. And I was like, an E minor arpeggio starts out with an E minor triad, but then it ends with a relative major, which is G. So you have the relative and the major triad together in one position. how coincidental can that be? But like a lot of people aren't going to explain that to you. So what am I missing? The third. The third separates the major from the minor. No third, second and one. I'm leaving the third out. Now I got my E minor triad and my G major triad in one position. Ain't that crazy? That's insane. So then when I look at positions, and that's why I teach pattern and position. So here I am in a position. And then you look over here and you're going, well, there's flat 5s and 6s and 7s over there. And then you go, well, wait a second. I got all these are chromatic, really. And then that's when Holsworth explained. Now you're learning. I was like, you suck. Yeah, simple ideas. So then I worked those simple ideas. And that sounds fucking great. And you saw what I did. I'm playing E, and then I'm working the G major triad in there. Secret sauce. There you go. Does that make sense to you guys? Check. The vocals will sound all right. And then you're looking at the G major. Next to it is the F sharp diminished, and then you got F sharp minor. And that's kind of how we learned GIT. Yeah. thanks, man. Let's see, G major E. If you were to write it out, yeah, G major E minor. Yeah, because that's a relative major and minor. You got the E and the G. Now you're playing. That's the E minor. This is the E minor pentatonic. You got your G in there. You got your B in there. You're playing in E minor with open strings. So then I take that and I use that third string as the splitter, separation, and that's where I create all the melodies from. See, I'm working off that. And that's how I look at my soloing too. So like if I was actually to sit down and write solos, I play really simple on the records. Even something that stupid, a producer might go, "That's kind of cool, but can you do that with like an ambient delay?" And then you're like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So then when I start playing these inverted chords, I work all those triads and arpeggios. And that's how you create all those melodies. It's really, really. That's what producers love, right there. I learned that at an early age, and that was great. What Kenny Aronoff was saying, that he got fired from the Cougar album because the producer didn't want to use him because he was too busy and technical, and he was about showing what he can do as opposed to showing what needed to be done in an efficient manner so that people understood. You're playing what people want to hear, not what you think they want, but what they actually want to hear. And a good way to actually do that is to go out and watch some dance bands and country bands play a lot of covers and see how the songs are written. But not just to see how they're written, but to watch how people react in the bars. That's an interesting idea of learning. Going and sitting in a bar and watching a cover band play covers and seeing how they react to those covers. When you're playing ballads, they're not so much into that. But when you play the kind of more on the blues groove side of a slow song, when you got like a kind of an angst in there, you'll see them react a lot different. A lot different. And that's the big difference. And I highly recommend people to go watch how audiences react. And that's what was amazing to me. My last show, it was huge. And when I saw those people singing, it's a weird feeling when people are singing what you wrote, and you're like, holy shit, they actually like it. And then because you studied it and you studied how they react. Yeah, and ballads and clubs are bad because you want people on the dance floor dancing. You want them sweating to drink some more drinks so that you can get hired back. There's a whole business kind of concept to that. You know, it's not just bringing about people, but having people on the dance floor so that you go, they're drinking a lot. So the more they're sweating, the more they're going to drink alcohol because the better they feel. And the better they feel, you know. Even something that stupid. That alone will get people on the dance floor. You put a fucking cool fucking groove drummer right there and a bass player that can slap. Yeah, it's a weird feeling too. Yeah, stupid equals money. It is simplicity. Stupid equals money. 1 and 1 equals money. 1 plus 1 equals $1. I should say $2. But if you had one of one thing and one of the same thing, no, it's yeah, stupid ideas like so simplified can create a better result. And here's the thing. What do engineers do? So think of it this way. If you're building a foundation, you're going to build a house or a big huge structure, you have to build the foundation. And to build the foundation, you have to do a lot of research to make that structure safe and sound and work the best that it can. A lot of detail goes into that. So if you're getting into music as a career or you want to do something and write songs as a session guy, you should be watching how people react. So here's what happens. I use Spotify, and I've talked about this to Steven. I use Spotify to, Rick Beato doesn't like it and says they're crappy songs. But I use Spotify to gauge what's happening at that moment, what people are listening to. So when I get, say, I don't know, Gretchen Wilson or Taylor Swift's management company calls me and they're like, hey, bro, we're going to put you, the producer's going to call you. He's new. They're having an issue in the studio. She's there. It's 3 a.m. And then they go, I need something like this. And I'll say like a carpenter. And then I'll go, and they'll say, no, not quite like that. I go to Spotify and I go, how about something like this? And they're like, perfect. Because you got to know where to look to get your information. Yeah, 3-chord pop songs, man. 3-chord rock songs as well. AC/DC. Poison. And what's all that bad stuff? Hey. G to a D, a 5 to a 1, or 1 to 5. And then the dominant second is a resolve. CC was smart. He was a lot smarter than people give him credit for. Unskinny Bop was great too. I don't remember how to play it. That's a cool fucking song, Unskinny Bop. And that's not easy to play. Drummers fuck that up all the time, believe it or not. Yeah. That's what made Poison successful. They gave him room to sing. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, and they're just droning on chords. What happened to people in the early to mid 70s when prog actually became cool? It's the one era where, yeah, and that's funny you say that because I was just watching Supertramp, who's one of my favorite bands. Supertramp is fucking incredible to me. It's like kind of prog, but with 3 chords, and they did a lot of the prog with the keyboards, and they had 2 or 3 keyboard players in the band. CC's underrated big time, yeah. On the Hunt, Skinner, yeah, and Skinner was great too. 3-chord songs. I forget that old Molly Hatchet song. What is that one? It's like two chords. That old Molly Hatchet. What's up, Pawn Shop? Yeah, and they had a lot of stuff. Yeah, Supertramp, man. And Supertramp had more hits than people remember. They weren't like a one-hit wonder. They had a lot, and the harmonies. Oh my God, they were such an amazing band. Just think of those harmonies they were doing. Dreams I'll Never See. Just think of the harmonies Supertramp was doing. How Beatlesque that was. Or even Queen. That's a great Dreams I'll Never See. They just vamp over that chord all the time. I love that song. Like I told the story, Russ Maxwell, he played for Molly Hatchet for 16 years. He's a good friend of mine. He's who I get pro player price from Gibson from. Russ is awesome fucking guitar player. Check out Russ Maxwell. He sings and plays guitar. He's a fucking incredible musician, man. Oof. Yeah. And Toto is good. You know what I liked about Toto were their breaks, like their runs. Rosanna, Rosanna. Like their hooks were okay to me. Like Hold the Line was an alright song, but it was like their runs during their breaks. They had really cool stops and starts and anticipation in their songs. But for me, Supertramp was a way better writing machine. Same with Asia. My buddy played with Trevor Raven's band for a long time. He got kicked out though. He just had a heart attack too, my buddy. The Guitar Nerd. If you guys want to see Guitar Nerd, he's a friend of mine too. He does a lot of amp stuff. We used to do shows together. He got sick and he's doing stuff. Do you sing any? A little bit, but not much. I used to go through. I sing more if I was playing out all the time. I would sing more. I had to give vocal lessons and stuff. But like if you're doing the A B C D E F G, I would go through the scale all the time with my voice, and that helped me hear a lot. So I would always practice the scale that way. G A B C D E F G, F sharp, I should say. F sharp. It's hard to sing that, but and then like the vocal dictation, like you don't sing like I. It's ah e, I. A lot of people don't sing properly. I took vocal lessons and everything. The Statlin brothers, I forgot her name. She used to coach them. She lived in Boca. $150 an hour for the fucking in the 80s. Bloody well, right? That song is fucking amazing. Yeah, they had the best of everything. They had great musicians who knew how not to overplay. They played what people want to hear. They had a great, unique sound. The vocals, the other guys could hit high notes, and the one guy could sing on the low like that. I don't know who sang what in that band, but that was an incredible band. And then like you can add like you can't really throw jazz into the pop stuff today like that, but you could do that in the blues, like the whole tone stuff. You can get away with playing some of the jazz runs in that like that with the whole tone. which a lot of people like too. But you can get in that with the blues and the jazz and stuff. Yeah, smash the like button for sure. Hit the likes. Let's see. I don't even know how many people on here. Let me check. Let me go back. It'll tell me. Oh, I gotta go back into my search. Let's see. Where am I? Oh, I gotta go on my channel. 29 watching on a Friday night. How cool is that? So we were talking about Trevor Rabin, yeah. Hold on live with the Apollo, yeah. My first band went Can you guys see the comments as well? I think you guys can. My first band went to high school buddies was rough. They were prog heads who could play Rush, Dream Theater, note for note. But pour some sugar on me was mission impossible with them. It's really cool, bro. What's up, bud? Boom, boom, out goes the lights. Yeah. Again, Pat Travers with Pat Thrall. You know, what's in Pat Thrall ripped. Let me see if I can find the one. I was doing patches too. Now this is a different guy. Big Rock? Jesus, that's thick. Hard hitter. There's a patch in here somewhere. Oh, here's a Loomis. No, not for me. Smooth tube, warm punch. There's a Gilmore patch on here that's like, oh, here it is. I fucked that up. This is stock, that patch. Chinese. What's up, Jerry? Take it easy. Drive safe, bro. Yeah, I only have string endorsements now. I'm down to my last endorsements. Only EVH strings. After that, I'm done. You're challenging. I've actually challenged Uncle Larry. I offered him $5 million to 500 grand to his. That if he beat me on any stage anywhere, that I'd give him my money to his money. But he's not gonna take that. Yeah, this is a really cool sound, man. This Gilmore-ish kind of. You don't have 500K, I know. I even offered to get what's his name to let us do it with Joe Bonamassa. Play some I don't know any Robin Trower anymore. How did the Uncle Larry beef start? About 2 years ago, and it was Buckethead. That's funny. I was going through channels just watching because I didn't start. I just started my YouTube channel again after like 14 or 15 years of not being on here because it was just for fun back in the day, and I went back on YouTube and started a channel, and just because I saw a lot of people lying, and I came across Voiju because I was looking up 59s because I had one. And I was like, I wonder if people are doing like videos on this, and then I came across Voiju where it said Isabel, I don't know his name, I don't know who he is, got ripped off a 550K 59, and I was like, so I watched it because it was a click title for me, and then I saw, I go, well, this guy pretty much knows kind of what he's talking about because I own a 59 and it's a piece of shit. It, all the hardware, and I just was on Dylan Talks, and he was talking about some older guitars. Burst Believer Fever, that's it. I was on Dylan Talks yesterday, and I said, bro, those old guitars suck. I have old Fenders and old Gibson. They had a lot of nickel, and he specifically said, "You're correct. They were made very poorly. The steel construction today is way better." And he was talking about StewMac frets, and I said, StewMac frets are incredible because of the articulation and the clarity when you play, and he agreed. So there are other people out there, but so I stuck up for Gus, and I did a video on it, and I said, 59s, here's my 59. It sucks compared to that. I own one. And then Gus had me shredding and put me on this channel. Look, this guy can outplay you, Tom, and he's got 59s and this and that. And then it kind of bothered Tom that he didn't know who I was and that I could play like that. And then that's how the beef started. That's how it all started. And then actually we became friends for about 2 years. No, it's not drama. Some people just want to know how it started. I actually, to be honest, Custom, I think Tom was more intrigued with me because in some of the emails that he said, "You're a really good '80s player. You got that shit down." He goes, "Actually, I'm kind of jealous that you were able to play like that." Something to that. I don't remember the exact words. And he was very kind to me in the emails, and we just kept that razzing thing going. So it wasn't really drama at first. It just and he got mad. That's all. But if Tom had controlled his demons a little bit better, we'd still be friends today, and I would have paid his mortgage for him because I talked to Tom for 2 years. I got hundreds upon hundreds of emails with me and Tom, and I actually like Tom, to be honest with you. Yeah, we do me and Tom get along really well. The problem is he can't control his demons. So when he drinks, he does really stupid shit. And that pisses me off. Because if you go after me on my own channel or something like that, because you get drunk, I just, that's the problem. I wish Tom, and let me tell you something, Custom. I offered to fly out to his house, help him put him in rehab, and help him with whatever he needed to beat his demons. I got all that in emails. You know what he told me? Fuck off. And I said, that's okay, man. I understand. But I actually do like Tom. As a person, I like him. I like him when he doesn't drink. He's a great guy. Absolutely. But when he starts drinking and he gets in those moods, it's almost like a bipolar kind of thing. Kind of. It's like dealing with my wife. My dog has fleas. Open tuning. Yeah. Long neck battles. Yeah. You play better on these lives, like the whole EVH and stereo lunchbox tone. Thanks, bro. Yeah. Dude, hey, Deer Creek, listen to this fucking David Gilmour. Bet your fucking Helix can't do that, brother. No, I bet it can. This is a stock patch in here. Yeah, 2 years. Yeah. Yeah. I I don't like the doxing thing. That was all. But improv. Play. What did you say? Play Tom's improv jam from the week. What? Called "In the Eye of the Storm." Say that in parts, because that's kind of talk about it briefly. The song, the way Rick Beato Bundle does on his channel. Listen, Rick Beato's a fucking fraud, bro. His record label failed. His studio failed. He had a viral video, and he wasn't a professor teaching. He was an undergrad working at the school he was at. He didn't get a degree. Although Rick is smart with theory, and I don't have a problem with Rick, but everyone thinks he's the real deal. He's not. Nobody ever heard of Rick Beato before his kid went viral. He's not on albums. His band failed. Everything failed. Social media has made superstars. Well, some people want to know what happened. And it wasn't me. Just so you know. And custom built. I wish you would go on Tom's channel and go, dude, Jizzy's a fucking cool dude, and he says he likes you, but you can't control your demons. Why do you got to do that to him? Why can't you just be friends with the fucking guy and not cross the line? See, that's what I would like somebody like you to do. And I think Stringlocker did, and he called him out. Beat It Beato campaign going in full bore. Sorry, didn't mean that. What? But I know. Yeah. Social media superstars. Yeah, it's like Bad Brad. I did the whole thing last night on him, like making people laugh, but I didn't ask you to critique Rick. What do you mean? I read your comment was written like critique it like Rick did. Talk about Eye of the Storm. Let's see. I don't have. Well, no, wait. I could watch it right here. Let me see. I don't know what song you're talking about. Can I do it like this? Eye of the Storm. Tom Bukovac. Are you sure it's called Eye of the Storm? Is that a real song? Yeah, Rick Beato has had big names on his channel. What do you mean it's not a real song? It's on his channel? Yeah, I got Patrick Johansson. As soon as his mom goes away, I'm going to bring Patrick and Dave Spitz on here. I'm going to do it in my dining room. I'm going to move all this out there and do it in the dining room. So let me see. Is it under homeschooling? Okay, I found homeschooling. So let me see real quick. He did it last week. First day with the new steel. Free licks quickie. Whoops. Let me go to his channel. Cause I don't know. Yeah. Well. Skip. I want to see what. I want to see what the song is. Let me see what it is. It's funny because I had told Zach the pedal steel thing he did with the 6-string was real easy because I've played pedal steel. And then he's like, no, it's not. And then Tom came out and said it was easy. You gotta play 8 if you want to be. Is it called? Wait a second. Not storm cleanup, right? Blues for Ray Butts. Guitars Born Freedom. I don't know what it is. You would have to give me the video number. He's got like 575, 587, Volume 7, Homeschooling. If you know what it is, I'll look. Let's see. Just an improv jam. Yeah, you'd have to tell me exactly what video is. Is it on the grinder with the Black Beauty? No, that's a month ago. You said what, a week ago? He's got one from 10 days ago, but that's the slide. Then he's got one from 3 days ago, Storm Cleanup, where he's playing in the beginning. The Storm Cleanup video. Let me see. I hate hollow bodies. Those are poor note choices right there. That would never get on an album right there. Then he plays like chromatic A thing all the way up. I don't know about that, bro. That might not. Let's see. Eye of the Storm. Yeah, the beginning of that. Oh wait, where it says Storm Cleanup. Eye of the Storm, right? Yeah, the beginning of that kind of. That wasn't for me. And the problem with that is I hate hollow bodies the way they sound. But when you're doing like that kind of stuff, and you're picking like that. Those notes are okay, but the problem is with like a note like that, you're landing on 4s instead of 5s to 1s. The resolve is horrible that way. So, yeah. Whatever he was doing, I would have to watch it and play it. But do I think it was good? No. I've actually seen him play better, to be honest. Talking smack. That might be where he talks. Yeah, that's where he talks about me in the end of the video. Ov never heard T-Bag play anything. Talking smack. Homeschooling bonus. Eye of the Storm. It's actually called Storm Cleanup. Yeah, that wasn't in his best. And then he did that's not that wasn't good. I've seen him play stuff where it's more on that level. It's gonna sound, but like he's doing like the when you throw that note in there like that's bad. It's a 4. You never want to go to 4s. And he went to an A. I don't know. That wasn't good for me. No. I don't like hollow bodies. They feed back and they sound tinny to me. And while I'm playing, sometimes I can hear it. Lonesome George, Ted Nugent, Stray Cats. Storm Cleanup is the response video to Oh, okay. But I don't see the other video. Let me go back on his channel. So it's the response video. And you're calling me an idiot, but you don't know the number to the fucking, if it's homeschooling or Uncle Larry, and you call me the idiot. Why don't you give me the number of the fucking video? 592, Tom Bakovac, Storm Cleanup. So let me see. Can I go to his channel? Channel. Go to channel. Blues for Ray. 4 months ago. Videos. Okay. Costume Party 2 days ago. Storm Cleanup 3 days ago. Bonus Piano Black 4 days ago. Oh, okay. Eye of the Storm. There it is. Let me hear it. Again, it's on the 1-finger chords in the beginning, 2-finger chords with a harmonic. Fives and flat fives and sevens. Now that's a lot better. And it's ballady. So here again, I'll talk about that. Ballads suck. Playing slow stuff like that, unless you're playing it, and there's a lot of chords going on. Again, he likes to use the sixes a lot, and he'll put the flat sevens, fives, sixes. Sliding the chords around. It's basic playing. It sounds okay. I'm not going to say it sucks. It's a lot better than the other thing. On the triads and shit. That was interesting. Don't worry about the custom. You're funny. So don't let him throw me off. Well, he's asking me about this song, what I think. I don't. It's an okay song. That's all I can say. Do I think it's a fucking genius? Absolutely not. Could I listen to that song out of all his songs? Yes. The triads and stuff, yeah. Sounds like Dark Side of the Moon. Bark Buster. It's 4 days ago, yeah. Miles Davis, best song. Yeah, but I hate Miles Davis. That might be something that you like. Like Robert Johnson. I'm not into Robert Johnson. I think he sucks too. He's just posting content. So like I got none really to say or critique. What am I supposed to say? It's genius. Oh my God, Rick Beato. Ooh, no, I'm not that guy, bro. I'm not that guy. Yeah, he's just posting content like I do. Yeah, it's not for everyone. Was it okay? Yeah, it was a lot better than the Storm thing of the other one. That's for sure. And Uncle Larry he's pretty good with chords. I'm not gonna say he sucks with chords, but you gotta understand he's in a different genre of what I do. Like if I'm playing on pop songs and pop country songs, like more in the pop vein, it's a whole different. The producers are a lot different. So I might be going. Which is, I want to hear rip some cool stuff. Play Kansas. Man, I haven't played that in a long time either. Anyway, this is a stock patch. Yeah, let me get back to what I was doing. Let's see. Tube Thompson, really? Out of all the fucking things let me go back up to the other patches. Geez, some of that's loud. Michael Britt. Let me go back. Where's my crank? There it is. But that's probably a lot of shit. Close that noise gate off. Yeah, so like, you guys hear me play a lot of rock stuff, but that's not what I record. So if we get back into the triads and stuff, if you want to hear more of that stuff, yeah, it's like I was more noise gate. I heard more cowbell on that. More noise gate. So going. Even those kind of triads, those are interesting to work with. I don't know if you guys understand that kind of stuff too as well. So like if you play a C major, let's say a C major 7 arpeggio. E major. So once you start getting all that under your belt, you can understand, and then you figure out the triads, like I was saying, the beginning of the E minor triad and your relative majors in there. So I use this G string a lot. And that's where you create a lot of the melodies. It depends like how deep you guys want to get into that kind of stuff with the writing. Let me go back to mine so I see where. Jittboy, Jizzy Boy, live, 35 watching. Oh, now I'm hearing myself. Hear it? That sounds pretty good. Stupid. So like even when I write rock stuff, that's kind of what I look at. And if you look at George Lynch, he's doing the same thing. Quiet Riot? Yeah, it's kind of like Quiet Riot. So, you know, you start looking like what I just did. So the actual is... But, like, I was like, what if you use some of the different target tones, like, when they wrote that, you know what I mean? I don't even know what you're saying, bro. So here you go, custom built. Look at what MTI just put on there. Those are from his people. Yeah, this is a crank amp in the Michael Burry. I think I did I did a JCM in here, but I don't know where I put it. Let me see. It was Andy died. Let me see. Let me get out of here. Kemper amps, guitar rig. Oh, here it's up here somewhere. Let me see. Where are you? This guy was pretty close to Pro Crank. I don't know what Pro Crank is. Super Reverb fan. Twins full. Hello 70s. Might be on there. He's got a Friedman in there. Gibson. Might be here. see how loud that is. Oh, that's not too bad. So this is a guy named Andy on here. He's got a JCM 800 drive. Now see, that's a little bassy to me. So let me go in here real quick. Studio EQ. Can I do that? No. So I'm going to have to go through the cab. So we just cranked up the low cut on there. There you go. That's better. That's better. Too much of it rolled off. All right, run to the store, bro. I could use more gain on there. Maybe it's the gain. That's some 80s tone right there. Yeah, I like the Nick Johnson Schecters too. He's got a pink one I've been looking at. Almost sounds like White Lion tone to me. Fine, I forgot to play that already. Let's see, Lizzie Jackson. What's that say? South Philippines in the house. Getting hammered by locals with karaoke. 65 lynching. That's a little presency, no? Where's my presents? There you go. Let's see. Comustica. Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris passed away. If you guys look up, his name is Kasigian, Kasigian. That's my uncle that I take care of today, but that was the oldest brother, V. He trained dogs for Chuck Norris, attack dogs. He also trained attack dogs for Soupy Sales, Leonard Nimoy. The Bionic Dog was trained by him. He told me Chuck Norris was an incredibly nice person. MT, I'm just going to ignore you. Kind of like all the kids in class did. I gotta say, custom built, I'm liking you more and more, brother. I gotta take more of your advice. Chuck Norris stares down books until they gave up their information. I don't know. That's good 80s sound, right? It's a stock. It's not stock. It's I don't know who this guy is. It says AND 44 TAF. It says Marshall CM 800 Drive, and then I tweaked it. Let's see what MT's gonna say. 80s music almost killed the guitar in popular music. No, absolutely not, bro. That's the most incredible bullshit thing I've ever heard anyway. There were so many fucking incredible players that came out of the 80s shred market that guys of today can't even play with some of these guys were playing back then. And that's why a lot of guys don't like shredders. I'm 60 years old, still being able to shred, but I mean that's not how I made my money. But you gotta understand, that's not easy. And you can't say it almost killed music industry, because after shred, Metallica went, and then other forms of it. You know, there were so many great guitar players that came out of there. You know, even in the pop industry, you had like what's his name, Keith from Bryan Adams, and then you had like Billy Corgan, who was a shredder, and what's that other band? Say It Ain't So, Weezer. That guitar player was a shredder, but they chose not to play that way on the records, so that's completely false. Matter of fact, Teddy Swims has a shredder in his band today. No control. And that's probably one of my favorite pop singers of today, Teddy Swims. Nah. Listen, Yngwie Malmsteen is fucking outselling whoever you think is good. Everybody goes to see Yngwie. He sells out small venues like the Revolution, that whole fucking 5,000, 6,000 seaters. He sells them out all the time. If Shred was dead or was killing anything, Yngwie wouldn't have existed till today. He wouldn't have a career. So that's complete. Steve Vai wouldn't have a career. Dweezil Zappa wouldn't be asked to go to Nam. What are you saying, bro? They wouldn't be having 80s fucking cruises making fucking millions of dollars every weekend over here. It's absolutely about sales. Music is a fucking business. This is where you're wrong. You don't know shit. Music is a business. It's about selling a product. Artists and bands are products, and if you can't sell, you get dropped from the label. It is 100% about that. And Yngwie hates donuts. Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Yngwie's fucking great. Yeah, and he's sober now. If it wasn't about technical prowess, jazz wouldn't be around. People wouldn't admire jazz musicians like Al Di Meola and Frank Gabali. People wouldn't admire Yngwie and Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, even though he wasn't really a shredder. Look at over in Europe. Ola England's got one of the biggest fucking channels. Bernth, one of the biggest channels over there. I've been invited to go on Andertons. I said if I ever make it over there, I'll come on there. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, and it's all a fucking business. Listen, if you don't sell records, even music and cover bands, if you don't draw a crowd and ring the fucking register, you're not playing there ever again. It's 100% about business. It's where the elites live. They Live Nation rents the Hard Rock for 600 grand, justify ticket prices for Taylor Swift, and she's in on it. So they rent it to her in a contract for 2.8 million as a rental. They split the fucking money down the middle and scam the fucking people, just like her dad's. It's all business. It's all business. Yeah, it's 100% business. And that's so here's a great point to this in talking on the business side of things. I've had friends ask me to get them in the business. I can't do that. I'll recommend bands, but you know, and I could have got Tom a job. I could have got Tom a job because he's got a good ear. I could have got him. I could have helped him out. I could have got him a job at like Atlantic Records. That's where I'm signed at. I could have got him a job in there doing something and making real good money. You know, because I don't like what his wife did to him. I really don't. But I could have got him a real good job, and I could have helped him because it's about business and helping people. But I didn't do that because same with other friends. I have friends that have demons. I can't have them go in there and fuck something up for me, and then I'm fucked. I make so if I sell a song and they're stuck, yeah, it's the art of music. There's sales, but it's not just the art of music, bro. It's the business. Here's facts for you. It's easy to get a record deal. It is easiest thing, but it's not easy to sell the record to the masses. Tom knows that. He's done his records. They don't sell. You have to write stuff that people want to hear. And I'm not trying to bag on Tom. I'm talking about business sense. If you want to be a professional musician and sell records, you want to make the most fucking money you possibly can because you're not going to be in the record industry for a long time. You're not. Exactly. 1,000 plexi sold. I mean, and I, Expose, I sold over 50 million records. Yeah, the people that bitch about shredders, and that's the funny thing. Even though I can shred, I don't get to do it on the records. Yeah, the promoters fucking rob you, 100%. And if you don't think the promoters that have the billions are friends with the CEOs of the record labels, who are friends of the billionaires that own Pershing Square and all these big fucking fortune top companies, like my buddy Bill, then you're in a blind world and you're never gonna make it. And this is why everybody made poor record deals. like with the contracts, their deals with they didn't know what they were doing because they didn't realize how bad of a business that everybody got fucked in. Even Steve Lukather is on Rick Beato saying how he gets screwed out of royalties and how he had to sign NDAs. It's 100% true. Yeah. It's a long way to top if you want to rock and roll. And you got to play the game. You got to play it well. And it's a hard game to play. It's not. So you learn your craft and you be the best technical player you can and the best in your field, the best blues guy, the best session player, the best. And then you have guys that come in who don't even fucking play and their producers go, no, I don't like that. Do you know how fucking degrading that is? But you learn to get used to it because you want the fucking money. Yeah. Thanks, bro. Yeah, it's true. You know, and the problem is even when I was on top, selling all that and doing whatever I was doing, do you know what it was like? You know, there's a great story about Prince and Justin Timberlake saying, "Sexy just got taller." Well, yeah, he was on top too. And now where's Justin Timberlake? He's in the fucking bottom pits. He can't sell because he's not sexy enough to sell to the fucking 14-year-olds that want to go out and buy that CD or download. I don't even know how you buy music anymore. Clive Davis was a genius. So was fucking Weather Report and all those people. Working for MCA, Skinner explains it, yeah. Exactly who would you rather be? The Edge or Ingve? The Edge. They make way more fucking money. Listen, money gets you power. And when you have a certain amount of money, you have a certain say so. I mean, it's a fact. Look at how all the big corporations dictate how Congress passes laws. And I don't want to get political, but I'm talking business sense. Look how they force Congress. You want to stay in Congress? You want to be the man in Congress? I can help you stay that way, but you're going to make laws for my company so that I stay on top. It's just how it is. Yeah, the Edge. You know, the Edge, Keith Richards. Keith Richards. Yeah, I'd rather be Keith Richards. Yeah, it's true. A lot of the musicians today, like the guys that were doing the stuff back in the day, like the bad stuff. That's the most. Now here's what I'm going to tell you, MT. That is one of the most stupidest fucking things. You rather suffer on the side of the road struggling for money than me. I don't want to say what I'm worth, but let's just say, let's say you rather be, if you were the Elon Musk of music, money wise, because you wrote all the fucking hits, you rather be classically trained. I'm classically trained, but I don't play classical music. I play pop. Everybody needs money. Yeah, you work for it. Yeah, I know he's a troll, man. But it's a. Here's the thing: what MTI doesn't understand, what his comments do, they make people like him look bad on himself because he doesn't understand. You live 5 feet from the ocean, really? Yeah, I don't believe it. Do you know what the property insurance on the ocean is? You can't afford that. I have a house on the Intercoastal. It's worth $47 million. I bought it for 14. You don't have a property on the ocean. Because I'll tell you, it's close to $500,000 a year. I could buy a brand new fucking McLaren or Ferrari or a Lambo every year for the property tax I pay on it. I have to rent it out. No, you're not trying to learn. You're a troll. And it's sad because a lot of these guys, if you watch all these comments, bro, you'll learn from what they're saying that I'm right and I know what I'm talking about because I've been in the business so long. Yeah, that is true though. Money doesn't mean shit if you sell your soul to the devil. That is fucking right, man. There's good money and bad money, just like good people and bad people. You have to make money the right way. You can't be like like I hate to say his name, Epstein. You can't be like that and expect that you're going to win on the other side. And it's not going to happen. In a tent. No, you know how he lives 5 feet from the ocean? He's got a cup of fucking ocean water and he puts it next to his fucking bed. 5 feet from his bed. No, he takes the water and he sits it in front of his house. He steals ocean water, puts it right there. It's like saying I'm a Nashville recording artist and I take a picture, leave around, and I record that on my phone in Nashville. Now I'm a Nashville recording artist because I recorded in Nashville. Really? Holy shit, bro. You got a cop showed up for you inciting a riot. Oh my god. That's fucking crazy right there. Yeah, and I guarantee there's a lot of people in the industry on here. They're not going to say who they are, but I guarantee you got guys on here from the industry. Because I know one person on here who's actually a CEO of Atlantic Records, and I'm not going to tell you who he is. Yeah, it's crazy how everything works. Like when I was growing up, I had no fucking idea. I probably do. Yeah, so there's like, there's a lot of people on here. I know there's some people that from the labels that still watch me to make sure that I don't say something. But you know what they do? They'll take this show and they'll run it through an AI program and they'll type in specific words to see if I said anything. Some of the guys come in just because they like it. But yeah, there's a lot of people, you know, um, that have come on the channel that watch. I was kind of shocked like when Craig Goldie came on here for sure. I met him a couple times. I didn't know if he still knew me or not, but come to find out, he's dating somebody that the sister of a pilot of a friend. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, that's the thing, Custom Built. It takes one guy like that from his side that wants to try to bash me or troll me because of the Tom stuff. And that's okay. I just have to ignore them. How does a guitarist start recording independently? Well, you got to remember, Buckethead, even though he was independent, he knew a lot of people. He knew me, he knew Paul Gilbert, he knew Becker. he knew he knew a lot of people, so it was easy. Being at his level, it was easy. We all helped each other back in the day. But there, there is a way to do that and get noticed. All right, Gabe. Yeah, I agree, bro. Not good followers. No, he didn't pay for his first albums. Buckethead, no. They get what they do. What they do is, so like, say somebody comes to me, like from somebody outside, and they say, and I go and I call somebody that I know from a label, and I say, hey, listen, I have this young kid or this young guitar player, or this young girl. I'm gonna have her sing in my studio. I'm gonna give you a copy of and a picture, and just like a chorus, and I'll send it to them, and I'll go, what do you want to do? Sometimes it's reverse. They'll send it to me, and they go, what do you think? And then I'll go, let's do a spec deal. It's called a spec deal. And then they'll say, okay, how about two songs? I go, okay, how do you want to market her? And this is where the business side is. So like, even though you spend all this time doing this creative process and you're this, you have to be a business person. So then you start looking at the spec deals, and you look at, you have to start doing model simulations of how they want to address this, to break her into the industry. And then yeah, in the old days. Yeah, you could do that. And it was so different back then, with the selling albums out of the back of the trunk and stuff. Now they don't even have A&R people going to clubs. They watch Spotify. So, for instance, who's the rapper guy that crossover? What's his name? Malone. What's that rapper guy name? Ozzy talked about him and he helped him. With the Post Malone. His parents were in the Hollywood industry. His mom was like a did costume sets and stuff, or designer for Hollywood and movie sets, and I forget what his dad did. So he went on Spotify and had his dad spend $50,000 buying Spotify, and it jumped him up to the top. And A&R people are watching Spotify. So when they saw somebody jump like that, they take a listen. They go, "Oh, he's pretty good." And then he had a different kind of look, so they signed him to a spec deal. And then once they put him out there again, with the big money, he hit. It's all about business practices. So let me explain something to you. What would you rather do? And this is for guys thinking about spending their money for albums. What do you want to do? Do you want to rent a warehouse, 500,000 square foot warehouse, put a new Coca-Cola in there, a soda, new brand of soda, and fill it up with all that money spent? Or do you want to sell the idea and then make the soda? How do I feel about Satanism? It's all around, bro. And Satanism is a funny thing. I think when you're weak and you got demons and you're weak, you got a weak soul or a weak mind, you're just asking for trouble. Then your demons get the best of you. But again, if you're going, why spend all your money and have a warehouse full of soda that you can't sell, or sell the idea first and then fill the warehouse up with orders after you sell the idea? Yeah, it's never going to change. Yeah, so like if I wanted to make fast money, how would I do it? I would, if there was a strip mall that I knew was in a great area and it was like $1.9 million, I would find the money somehow to borrow the cash and offer him 1.2 million in cash that day. Then I would turn around the next week and sell it for $2.5 million, so that I'm going to make $1 million within 6 months on one sale, because that takes a lifetime for people to work for. You do the big sale, you don't do the small sales. So if you're going to sell soda or do an album, you go fucking big. You sell the idea big. Listen, that's what Marilyn Manson did. Marilyn Manson couldn't even sing. He was a writer for a magazine, promoted the next band to rule the world, Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids and blah blah blah. And people started writing the magazine. Where's he fucking at? Where he created such a frenzy with an article. Fucking genius. Fucking genius. And he didn't even know. He just stepped in shit and didn't even know it. I wouldn't say there's no God, man. Do I have any scallop? No. The guitar that's up there that had it was a Chandler scallop neck, which was another prototype that was on the one that was bought back from the Hard Rock, the clown guitar. And I sold that neck for like $800 or something. I sold it for a lot of money over to somebody in Europe. A lot of artists are getting deals from Spotify scouts. Yeah, that's where the A&R people are looking. They're looking to see who jumps up the charts or who sells. That's where you got to go, Spotify. And let me explain this. Tencent from China, who owns all the Fortnite games and all the music games, they own Spotify. Who else is with Spotify? Universal Music. They work together. Now, who's Universal Music owned? By my buddy Bill Aikman, who's part of Perishing Square, that owns Alphabet Inc., that owns Google, that owns YouTube, that owns Universal Music. Yeah, pop. And they're signing single artists. And it's mostly people, can you play some more blues again? I can. What do I got? I got the Jason patch. Okay, Tom. So I'm going to say, by what you just said, MTI, I know you're Tom. I was romantically involved. Yeah, Sarah, right? You're a fucking fool for even saying that, bro. With the backing track, I don't have any. I don't have my kid's phone on me. I don't have the kid's phone. What is it about the blues you like? The blues is cool, but the thing about blues is there's a couple patterns that you can use in it. Like Joe Bonamassa uses it, and he stole it from Sean Lane. So if you're playing pentatonics, that kind of stuff, those are great. Sean Lane was fucking incredibly gifted, man. I got them. He came to GIT a lot, Sean Lane. You know what I always wanted to see? I wanted to see Johnny Highland and Sean Lane play together. Yeah, I don't have the phone to do a backing track. All I got is the rat track. Round and round. I could play blue shred at the end of it. Peebler Brown. Yeah. I don't have blues tracks in here. I just got the rat track. You can play it. You can play blues on it though. At the end of it. Let me see. Let's see. It'll load up. I don't know if I'm in tune for it though. Yeah, but too bad she didn't get the money. The record label's got all that money. Let's see. Let's see where it's at. 7. Tell me if it's the same volume. Hard to hear. It's hard to hear. See, it says my battery's hold on. Does it come out? Oh, there it is. I'll solo at the end. Yeah, I can't hear it. I'd have to crank it, and then it'll probably bleed it. Let's see. So he's asking about pop quiz, break down the economics of a typical 3,000 seater. 3,000 seater doesn't matter anything because you buy the seats. So before you do the show, if you're doing a show for a 3,000 seater and you're working for Ticketmaster or Live Nation, they buy all the seats. So you're buying your tickets and you have to sell the tickets. And whatever you don't buy, you lose in money because they charge you a set rental fee for that property. And it's in the rider and it's in contracts and you have to have a contract reader and all kinds of stuff. But, and it depends on the value. And it depends on the area where the 3,000 seater is. It just doesn't work like that. So, no, you weren't even close, bro. It's an E minor. But he plays in and out of D major, too. So, he's playing a lot of E minor, A minor. So, like, even that lick is cool because it's pentatonic. Let's see, can you make a lick out of that lick? Let's see. No, that would be hard. Kid Rock has all that shit under control. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I try to do, and that's a big part of playing too, is having really good vibrato. Like if you have to slide like that, you can do the fast up or the slow down. So if you're going, and I'll do that with my ring finger or my first finger. Yeah, it's a cool way. George Lynch and Warren DeMartini are really good at it. Self-proclaimed, about $35. See, like that. That's a D. And sliding to the G. Same thing with the triads. A lot of people don't tap right. Alright, Paul. Yeah, Chris Poland's good. Like, so if you're doing a triad here. Here's your G. G major. C major. C major. So then you figure out the chords that goes under. So you can play a chord, a 1, 3, or 5 on the chord. You use the chord tone. It's all based on triads. You should do more bong hits. You're. So you go, custom built. Listen to the stupidest shit this guy. I should stream with a metronome. I can't hear most of the stuff that I'm playing through. I can't hear my voice. All I can hear is a guitar. I can't hear that. I can't hear anything because it'll create such a feedback in here. Obviously, you don't stream. Yeah, I love Dio. What's wrong? No. I saw a guy try to play that today wrong. Instead of playing it like the Richie Blackmore way. There you go. I'd love to see somebody like Guthrie here. From whatever you say, bro. You were there. See, that's another douchebag comment right there. You weren't. I went to GIT. I got a degree from GIT. You had to play classical guitar there. Yes. No, that would be you. Do you even have any content on your channel? Let's see. MTI 142. Let's see if you have any content on your channel. I'm going to say absolutely not. This is what happens all the time. All the fucking time. And then I would make a bet with you. Any stage, any time. You put up 50K, I'll put up 50 million. Yeah, of course not, because you're a keyboard warrior. You're a fucking pussy. You're the guy that likes to talk shit. And the guy from Gore was like, GIT. He's a fucking badass. Yeah, I know, man. But you know, sometimes you gotta stick up for yourself a little bit. You know what I mean? It gets over tiring to hear stupid shit all the time. It's like talking to my fucking dog. You don't understand dick. It's it's one of those things, man. It's like, of course he doesn't have guitar content. You know why? Because he can't fucking play, or it's a fake account that somebody's hiding behind. It's always like that. Yeah, I know. It's always drama. Listen, these guys don't get under my skin, but at some point you got to kind of stick up for yourself a little bit. And I go back to the content and stuff, but it's funny how people that don't really like you come on your channel the whole fucking 2 hours and fucking say shit. Like, why? Are you that big of a fucking loser that you gotta have? And if you have followers like that, I don't want followers like that. I like even you, custom built. Your fucking today was awesome, and you liked the content. I was on the line about you, but now I see what you're saying. Yeah, I try to give good content. I want people to learn. I here's the thing. We need more fucking Waylon Jennings. We need more Steve Vais. We need more Randy Rhodeses. We need more Chet Atkins and Roy Clarks. Because if you don't fucking push that shit, music will fail. And who failed music? We did as a community. Yeah, we do, man. That's why, like, I try to explain the music industry isn't what people think. My playing isn't what I play on the records. I'm not allowed to. It's forbidden. It just is. I've actually done shows where my friends have come out and go, "Bro, you fucking can play like that?" Like I'll sit in with like a rock band, and they're like, "I didn't know you can play like that," and I laugh. I go, "Well, you never asked." Yeah, and the metal. I love Waylon, bro. That's what I grew up on. That's what I heard most in my house. Fucking Tony Bennett, Elvis, and Waylon Jennings. That was all I grew up on. Give him the band hammer. Yeah, Waylon fucking was awesome, man. Waylon Jennings was the shit. I Out of all the people I wanted to be early on in my career, like as a kid, that was it. I wanted to be a preacher. I thought as a kid, and then I saw Waylon Jennings and my dad like in Hee Haw and all that stuff, and my dad had all the records. Yeah, that's the thing. People are always going to bully or be jealous of people that they have a talent or something. Either like when you're a kid, you see other kids get bullied. It's either because it's a boy and a girl and they love you, and that's their way of showing affection, which is wrong, because they're not taught properly, or they bully because they're jealous because you have something that they'll never have. I agree 100%. No, I agree, bro. And again, Tom has some good content. I just wish he would kill his fucking demons, and then we could go on and be friends. I really do. Yeah, that's a great fucking song. No, thanks, bro. Yeah, I don't think our best days of guitar are behind us. I think everything goes in cycles. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. They yeah, the big late. That's the other part. Like a lot of people don't understand how bad the industry is and how much they're like just fucking vultures. I gotta be careful what I say. But that's why a lot of these guys that were famous are broke. Even look in Hollywood. I mean, you guys get what's the actor's name that I forget his name. Anyway, let me turn this off real quick because I gotta go soon. My kid's out there. And tennis nuts are supposed to come into town. Twinkle twinkle. Bro, anything can be hard. I once tried to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. It was the hardest thing I ever had to learn. You know why? I was standing on my head trying to play it with my toes. Yes, shutdown mode. No, my kid's he's gonna be 11, bro. Yeah. I do know. Too funny. All right, everybody, I gotta take off before my wife kills me and my kid gets upset. Again, I just came on. This is a lot better setup for me because I had to get a thing to jack up the laptop. So, Kevin P from Cannabis. Oh shit, that guy's a great fucking dude. Cannabis is awesome. I won't say nothing else. I know he's a difficult singer, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, man. Night, bro. Yeah. Thanks everybody, and thank you, Custom Built, and everybody else for coming on and seeing it for what it is. You know what I mean? Again, we need more people that can help and bring back fucking guitar. Let's make guitar great again. All right, everybody, peace out. Let me do the phone, and that way I can save it. We're gonna switch it around. Let's see. You guys can see the fucking. Oh, can you see? Let's see. That's the big screen. There's my Superman and my Turbo Man. Here's the PA stuff behind, so you get to see. So that all that's fucking. Then there's the mixer and everything. So there you go. Let's see. How do I end this? Here.